Hello, I'm Coercer, and we are watching the finals from ArtifactCup number 26, and we've seen the first two games in this best of 5 between me and BBI Iain, and the third game will be played on the shallows. The score is currently tied 1-1, and we are once again playing Gaussian versus Coalition. We'll be watching this one from my perspective. And the shallows seems to be quite a popular map lately. It's both easy to rush on and looks like squirrel out of bounds almost there. So yes, it's easy to rush on and also easy to defend your main base since you have this choke point right in front. So I've spawned in the south as the Gaussian, and Iain has spawned in as the Coalition up in the north. Iain has sent out a probe from his base runner, going to check on my progress in my base. And Iain has also not retired his base runner, so he is once again going for those early artifact captures. Now that probe encounters my production cruiser. The production cruiser is busy shooting at the hill, and yeah, there we go. Now it takes out the probe. Not sure how much how much information Iain actually got from that, but well, at least it's a kill on that production cruiser. So Iain is constructing a support cruiser. He is going for that fast support cruiser so he can move out with his carrier, and he already has a salvager queued up to break up his first bulkhead. In the meantime, I've already started mining CUs from that first bulkhead, and I'm just building as many salvagers as I can get away with. Iain looks like he is going for the middle artifact. Oh no, he's going for the artifact that's closest to me. He's going to sneakily pick it up and deny my safest artifact while keeping his own and the middle artifact up. And well, all of the artifacts are pretty much the same distance from the extraction zones. I've just happened to move my sand skimmer out there just as Iain picked up that artifact, but that sand skimmer won't be able to kill that base runner on its own, and Iain really shouldn't have any problems defending his base runner, especially if he gets that LAV to support the base runner, as LAVs have a longer range and are more accurate than sand skimmers. Well, at least at these longer ranges, sand skimmers tend to miss more shots, but they are quite deadly when close up. I move away my sand skimmer immediately as soon as that light attack vehicle starts shooting at it, and in the meantime I've opened up the second bulkhead, and my production cruiser has just been constructed, so I should be moving out my carrier momentarily. So the mining operation will be more efficient here. Iain now has 4 LAVs out on the field. He is going to break up his own second bulkhead, and it looks like he is trying to get some harass in, since I've been quite greedy with my builds, and he's looking to deal some economic damage. I retreat with my salvagers, but I lose my sand skimmer to those LAVs, while my carrier slowly moves out to scare away those LAVs. In the meantime, Iain has captured his first artifact, so he is ahead 1-0, and I am just now producing, or have produced, a heavy railgun. I was going to say that I'm producing heavy railguns, but right now it's just one heavy railgun and an assault railgun on the way, and I'm moving the heavy railgun up onto the high ground here, where this heavy railgun will be able to cover quite a large area with its fire. Iain is coming in again with his LVs, looking to deal as much damage as he can, and that salvager will go down quite quickly. The railgun actually landing a few hits, but that assault railgun will now deal with that lone LAV quite effectively. And I'm overacting a bit moving that carrier in like that. I could have just left it there with my salvagers. Now, Iain has gone air again, and he is building up his air force, and he pretty much has nothing else on the ground at the moment. He has now just started to move his base runner again, and he is looking to capture as many artifacts as he can before I get my forces out on the field. I've researched power reserve 2, so I can have 3 of the basic or essential systems for the Gaussian carrier active: speed, weapons, and range. Iain is launching his strike fighters, and he is moving them around at the edge of the map, so I won't spot them in time, but I've also researched missile ship technology, and my missile ship is up ready to deal with those strike fighters. That missile ship takes a lot of damage to that concentrated fire from those strike fighters. My salvagers try to get out to safety. That production cruiser has constructed another missile ship, and those retreating strike fighters fly over my base runner, which actually got a rank. It's now rank 2. That's pretty cool. I didn't actually know that when I was playing. In the meantime, I've taken out Iain's base runner, and I'm now moving in with my 3 assault railguns and heavy railgun to deal some damage to Iain. Of course, with his carrier there in the way, I decide to be very cautious and not commit to that attack, and that blob of LAVs can be quite deadly against these railguns, especially since those LAVs can get up close and personal, and the railguns have trouble targeting them up close, since they can circle around and move from side to side. In the meantime, I'm going to capture my first artifact, and I have research power reserve 3, so that'll be quite a boost to my power reserves. And the score is now 1-1 on the artifact captures. Iain has just LAVs and 1 attack group of strike fighters ready to go, and I'm just trying to see just what he's up to. I'm not very confident that I can just move in with those assault ships. The carrier should be able to deal with them quite effectively, but I figured that I might as well use my carrier as a sledgehammer and just move it in and disrupt as much of Iain's salvaging and his forces as I can, while also moving in with assault ships on the side to try and distract Iain. Now, assault ships won't really deal that much damage. Iain has retreated his salvagers. He is targeting them with his strike fighter. Iain has constructed a couple of railguns, but they're right in front of my carrier, and my powered up carrier shouldn't have any problem dealing with that. I was constructing a production cruiser while my carrier was on the way here, so now the production cruiser will provide some very good AA for any strike fighters that Iain will be launching from his carrier, and production cruisers are quite good at picking up strike fighter kills, especially if they launch right in front of them. Of course, I'm trying to deal as much damage as I can to his economy, taking out that support cruiser and now taking out those salvagers, so in an attempt to starve out Iain while my carrier is there and causing trouble for him. The production cruiser has built a missile ship, so that is also proving to be quite devastating for his strike fighters. Iain is focus firing my production cruiser while the missile ship is free to do anything it wants. Now the production cruiser does go down. Iain is building railguns while this carrier fight is going on, but the Galcian carrier is quite effective at dealing with units. Those point defend guns deal quite a bit of damage, and those missiles are really effective at dealing with railguns. In the meantime, I am moving my forces across the map. I'm trying to capture as many artifacts as I can get away with, so I can power up my carrier even more. At the moment, my carrier has suffered more damage than Iain's, but I do have a heavy railgun now supporting this fight from afar. I have also powered up my regeneration systems, so my carrier will be tougher to take out. And now Iain is mining just from his main base, while I'm mining from all of my expansions and the main. And Iain is now down to just 2 strike fighters, and I have 4 heavy railguns providing fire support for my carrier. And Iain is now stuck in his corner. His carrier is being devastated with those railgun shots, and my carrier is pretty much dealing with any of his LAVs and anything that he is building from his carrier, and his carrier eventually succumbs to that heavy railgun fire. Well, I didn't really expect to win this by just moving in my carrier. And as soon as I engaged Iain's carrier, I was actually worried that he went ahead and went for the battle cruisers, since I've had some bad experiences with that in the past. Megareth did that to me, and it has been quite effective. Basically, as soon as I got 2 Megareth carrier, 2 battle cruisers popped out, and those battle cruisers just killed my carrier almost instantly. So that's always something to watch out for when you're carrier rushing against a coalition player. But in this case, it worked out in my favor. So the score is now 2-1 in my favor, and let's see what happens in the next game.